On today's episode of WatchJRGo, we are back in the shop with Ric Flair. That's how he introduced himself today. But this is Eric and I's newest acquisition, a 2013 Mini Cooper Coupe. That's right, the two-door with the toupee. What is going on, guys? I'm WatchJRGo, and like I said, today we are here with our new 2013 Mini Cooper Coupe S. So this is the good version, right? I mean, of course, they also JCW'd this car, but it is the 1.6 turbo, the N14 engine with two doors, a huge trunk, and the coolest thing of all, a power spoiler. So Eric found this car on Facebook Marketplace and we went and bought it. And when we got there, it was pretty funny. So they were asking $1,500, something like that, $1,500, and they almost immediately negotiated down to $1,000. I think they were negotiating against themselves at this point. We were like, well, it's a little bit expensive. And they were like, $1,000 immediately. So that saved us a lot of time. And as soon as we opened the hood, I kind of wanted it because, I mean, I wanted it anyway because the Cooper Coupes are rare. And this one had this AEM strut bar, which is very cool looking. It also had the factory bi-xenon headlights with the wiper sprayers, all that cool stuff there. You can see the spray. Ooh, does it not have the sprayer? The nozzle's not there. Okay, maybe this one doesn't have the sprayer somehow, but it has the...
Now they're just broken.
Yeah, pulled on it too much.
Good job.
No, I think it's just actually missing on that. So it could be optional. Yeah, these are definitely expensive lights. And Eric and I were excited to make 181 horsepower. That's really what we were here for. And it's made it to the automatic 6-speed, not the manual, which, you know, probably takes a little bit of value away from this car because a lot of enthusiasts want Mini Coopers. And you can tell that an enthusiast owned this one. It has slotted and drilled rotors, which is kind of funny. I think they said the brakes were recent, and they included a huge box of parts with this thing.
That we don't know where it is.
We don't know where that box went.
But they spent, I think there was a receipt in it for more than we paid for the car.
Yeah, like $1,400 of parts.
Yeah. But this is the Italian job, obviously, with all of our...
With all of our Mini Coopers, we're ready to start robbing whatever. What did banks, right? It was a bank, right?
I just really want to drive... We just need to take these and drive them upstairs and across sidewalks and then ride the rails down on them like they did because they definitely were high-centered going down. So let's just do that.
We got to get 4 Mini Coopers running at once. That's our goal here. So you can see the doors are very different on the Cooper Coupe here. And it looks very cool with this top that is not, it's not a convertible. A lot of people think it's a power folding hardtop. These are fixed roofs. There is a convertible one, but this is the R58. Not a convertible. It also, the other thing that's very, very cool on the Coupe, it has a power deployable rear spoiler right there, and it opens automatically at 50 mile an hour, or you can just hit a switch in the headliner and pop that open like it's a Porsche 911. So very, very cool. The interior on this car was super clean. Oh, it's comfort access. It is a 2013. I did not know it's comfort access. And you know what? I think that door is open. It's just being a pain. It looks like it's unlocked.
The window's not indexed.
Well, this one opens right up, right? Yeah. So the seats were clean. The interior had some dirt in it, but it was all clean. It's black on black, jet black accents all the way through. None of the carbon or the checkerboard or anything like that you'd normally see in a Mini. So very black inside. It helps it with some silver accents, that's for sure. But I think it looks great. We got the cool iDrive basically loaded. Another S, heated seats, all the things that you want in your Mini Cooper. And then also in the Coupe, you can see there's speakers in the back and more storage in the back, a pass-through right there to the trunk, which is cool. And of course, many of you by now have probably noticed it has a broken rear window, which is a little bit sad because this window is going to cost us $300. But there's more to the window story than we've told you so far. When we went to this house, the lady said she was mowing and her mower threw a rock and it broke the glass. And we were like, yeah, that sounds about right. You can see where it hit right there and spidered out. So that was kind of interesting. And then as we went out through the property, we noticed the side window of the shop was broken where this was parked. And apparently that was from a mower. And then we headed towards the house to pay her, and they had another shop, and all of the windows on that, including the glass front door, were broken out with rocks. And then the front window wasn't the storm door on the house.
There was so much broken.
Every piece of glass on the property was broken. So it was just a fun time for us to just be like, how did this happen? I don't know how this happened. Unfortunately, our brand new Superstar here is dead. We hooked the charger up and it said the battery was sulfated. I mean, we've had this thing for a while and haven't touched it. We, you know, sometimes buy cars and just park them until we have time to make videos. This one's been parked for 6+ months, maybe 8 months. Don't really know. We've had it for a long time. But today, we're gonna put the jump pack on it and see what's going on. We did check the oil while we were there and we noticed it's way over full.
That's normal, leave it alone.
No, put that back, put that back. It's so far over full. You guys saw the plastic bullet that has the indicators on it. It's like 3/4 inch past the end of the plastic bullet there.
It's like a Chevy, it's fine.
Yeah, you gotta overfill them. You gotta overfill them. And also, this is, I think this is the thermostat housing, what's left of it. It sure looks like it. And everything's unhooked here. The air intake tube's missing. The temp sensor's laying here. We have a lot of interesting things going on. So they had a couple different mechanics work on this thing. It has all brand new suspension, and then they bought the suspension again. That's how we ended up with that extra $1,400 of suspension. They took it to a shop. He gave them a list of what they needed. They bought the list, but so did he. So he went ahead and did it all, and then they never returned it. So we ended up with a huge box of extra parts for a Mini that we don't need at all because it's got new everything on it. So that is basically the status of it. They took it all apart. I think the engine's seized because I did try to start it while we were there to see if I could drive it on the trailer and it just clicked. But today we're gonna get the jump pack out and try it again because it would be really cool if we could make this thing turn over. Maybe it's hydrolocked with oil. Honestly, that's what I think, is that they put so much oil in this thing. You can see the whole valve cover, turbo, everything's covered in oil. I think they filled it up so far that it literally seized. And if it's just seized and the rods haven't bent, we might not have to put an engine in it. But we also specifically bought this car because we have a spare N14 engine sitting right there ready to go. Back to Eric's favorite thing here.
It's fine.
It's totally fine. I think it's right there, right? But I think we saw it right there at one point, which is like 7 quarts over if I had to guess.
I would guess it's like 2 quarts in this car.
2 quarts over?
In this car, just because of the size of the engine.
Probably.
That's a lot.
It's a tiny oil pan.
That's what you do when you have no oil pressure and you want to get home.
Right, more. More oil equals.
But then you have to completely
Look
fix
at
all
that. How are the coils covered in oil? They clearly had these out.
Yeah,
because we didn't even touch the coils.
He was working on it.
Yeah, I bet he was working on it.
Well, you lost all my parts.
So here's our plan, guys. We are gonna pull all the spark plugs out right now and see how much oil is actually, I'm assuming there's oil floating on top of the pistons in this thing. We're also going to hook up the oil extractor here, suck what we can out of the dipstick so we can get it down to a reasonable level there, and basically just see how much oil's in this thing, and then we're gonna try to put a breaker bar, ratchet, something like that on the engine and see if we can make it turn at all. Because if we can make it turn, we're gonna be in business. So, are they loose? I thought they were finger tight. The oil coming out of this thing is also jet black. So let's go ahead and suck quite a bit of it out. We might even start with fresh oil just to get going. Looks like you got the plug. We just finished extracting the oil all the way down to where it belongs on the dipstick. And we also took the vacuum while we were in here and stuck it in every spark plug hole to see if we could suck any oil out of there. And there wasn't any oil. So let's see, what are we looking at here? Side camera? We're looking at front camera, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're on the front. We're gonna go ahead and shove it down in 2. Right out of the gate, it's ruined. Look at that trash on the top of the piston. I mean, I'm not sold on it being ruined. It looks like
that one does.
It looks like there's valve marks.
On that one it does.
Look at that one. That one too. Big shiny sections of the piston. I mean, they don't have the nice semicircle that a valve crash would have. I'm not sold on that one being bad. Let's take a look in 3.
This one's the worst.
Oh!
Yep.
It's completely full of oil.
Yeah.
It's covered the camera now. We vacuumed it out and there was nothing in there.
Wow,
that's crazy.
All stuck on top of the cylinder. That was the worst. This is the spark plug that came out of that.
Oh, the spark plug that was totally soaked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that one, I bet you that one probably has bad compression, that cylinder.
You think they put oil in it to raise the compression? It's possible. Why does that piston look perfect? It looks like it's brand new, fresh out of the factory. I want to get back in this one. How much oil's in there?
A lot.
That's the answer, is a lot. It looks like a lake inside there.
It looks like it's getting by the rings, doesn't it?
I doubt it's by the rings. I think they did something. That's all I can say. You know, either they did something weird, or the valve cover gasket is so bad, and then they pulled the plugs and let all the oil in. And it was a lot.
That's fair.
So that's possible. All I know is we need to get in the wheel well, and if we can get in there, we can turn the crank. Let's toss it up on the lift and then yank this wheel, and I think we can get it to turn by hand. Eric just got the nasty front wheel off of this thing, which is good. We finally got some access here. And I think if we go right through, ooh, it's still not easy to get to. You have to, just peel it back and then put it right through there. So
17?
Yeah, it actually looks like 17 or 19, and let's see if we can turn this thing over. Just put the impact on it.
I can't.
Run it.
When I start it.
Let's see, here we go. It is a 19. Oh, look at that, it's got conies on it. Wow.
What?
It's got super nice suspension. I don't think these are...
That's what all the boxes said on.
Yeah, I think this is brand new conies or something. All right, what you got for me? Big ol' extension?
Saying this is a Koenigsegg?
This is a Koenigsegg, yes. Basically exactly that.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Need one more extension.
No, I can do it like this. It turns over just fine. Look at that.
You're the one that said it didn't turn over.
Well, it doesn't on the starter. You can't blame me for it not starting. Look at that. It's actually getting pretty easy. Ooh, we might be blowing trash out. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. It's probably cylinder 3.
Ooh. Or it's the head crashing. Listen. Let's listen closely here. Here we go. Full turn. So I'm probably here's.
Let me feel it.
Okay, I'm at 12 o'clock. There's another quarter turn. Another quarter turn. It sounds bad. You think it might have slipped time or something, which is crazy. I don't think these engines aren't known for jumping time, but it sounds terrible.
It sounds worse here than in any of the other ones.
Well, hook the jump back up and hit start.
Yeah, who cares? It's nobody's car.
Nobody's car. Somebody put in the wrench time.
Oh, I know.
Wait, nobody put in the wrench time.
Somebody put in the wrench time.
I bet that battery charged. Go ahead and put the battery on in circuit too. We did put this battery, listen to that, it woke right up. I think that battery is actually in okay shape, but it did say it was sulfated. And then the charger said failed after a while. But we're gonna try. We've got the jump pack, so we should be able to turn this thing over like a rocket ship. Making some fire over there. And while we're in there, I do want to show you guys, look at the carbon buildup on these plugs. Absolutely horrific. And that one's not covered in oil. This is the one out of 3. Just covered in oil. And the tip's pretty much gone too. So it is an iridium. ILZKBR, I think. Should be an iridium. Bing bong, bing bong. All right. Just in case. Ready when you are. Hold on. Okay, crank away. That was crank. Turn it on and off. Get it to crank for real. I believe in it. We might have to clear the codes before it'll crank. That's all it's doing? Yeah, this has the Steptronic transmission. 6-speed, shifted on the steering wheel. But it's the terrible design, right? Where you can go forward and back. Yeah, the worst design ever made. No shifter has ever been worse than that.
I want to break it.
Yeah, break it.
How do I get the key out?
Don't worry about the key. I'm gonna hook the scanner up and clear it. All right, guys, we scanned this thing. The code is 0A0B4, and it says engine starter operation. And when I look that up, it says hook the starter back up, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know why the starter would be disconnected. I do understand why everything up top is disconnected. And we do obviously need to find that coolant elbow that's unhooked here. But there are a lot of connectors unhooked, right? So the tip sensor is there. That's unhooked. This is unhooked. That goes to...
This one worries me.
Yeah, that one got a little chewed on there, but I think the connector itself is fine to the solenoid. Oh, it's chewed on, dog.
Is it not?
Because that's why, you know, we found that. We found poop. So...
Oh, yeah.
It got chewed on. And then the other temp sensor back there is also unplugged. Although it may or may not be actually used. We have some hunting to do, but let's lift this thing up and take a look at the starter and go from there.
I don't know. When I look at it with the light, it looks fine.
Guys, we got under here, and I kind of think this entire thing has been on fire. Based on the heat right here and the rust, you know, that's a very fire looking. Here, let's see if we can throw some light all the way across all of it. It kind of looks like, I mean, that plastic there didn't melt. So the starter though, looks like it's 100% been on fire. If you look way up in there, you can see all that rust. That has been hot. Hot or salt, one of the two, I can't decide. But nothing else on this car has any rust on it. Of course, the starter is unplugged. So I don't know if you guys can see where my hand is right here. That's the connector to the starter right there, and it was not plugged in. And you know what else? The metal wire clip that attaches that thing to the starter is also missing. How? All right, well, let's plug it in and see what happens. Oh yeah, I got covered in oil and there's just oil everywhere. We gotta hook back up. Let's see. I hope that's on all the way. I just can't tell.
I see the bigger problem.
What's the bigger problem? Ooh, wow. Nothing left of that belt. What happened to this thing? What happened to this thing? It has so much weird damage. Here we go, round two. Eric's jumping in this thing. He's gonna crank it over. I'm gonna hold this rag over that 3 spark plug hole to see if oil starts blasting up out of here. But it better turn over this time. That's all we know. If it turns over, we're putting the plugs in and seeing what we find. Go for it whenever you want. Nothing? We might have to clear the codes just to make it work. Engine starter operation is the fault. That doesn't make any sense. We might need to unhook the battery. Hit start. Nothing? Open the door? Close the door? Battery. Nothing? Man, watching the headlights level is so cool. Well, what do? Can't believe the starter is unhooked. I think what we do is run a wire down to the starter and just hook it up.
So, just make it.
I just want to hear it crank.
Manually make it crank.
Yep, it doesn't need a crank from the immobilizer. We'll figure that out. Here we go. It's surgery time. You ready?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh no. What? I didn't leave. I got enough wire. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Starter's bad.
Starter's bad.
Well, maybe you're right.
What if we just go beat on the solenoid real quick and see if we can get it to...
Go hit it with a hammer.
That's probably the thing. I think I might be able to hit that from up top with a long extension here.
Yeah.
This pry bar, actually. This solenoid's easy to get to, luckily.
Oh, it's on top, yeah.
It's right on the side of this thing. So we'll give it a couple. Here, hold on. Hammer. Where's the big boy? Okay, touch it. Nothing. Okay, stop. Hit it. Hit it. You might be locked up.
I think the battery might have died.
Ah, no. I think the wire fell out.
Oh, it did.
Oh, did I just...
Knock the solenoid off then?
No, I didn't. Thought I did. Okay, let's lift it up. And I'm gonna hit the starter too to see if maybe it's stuck. And then we'll try one more time. If not, it needs a starter.
Yep.
All right, guys, Eric's lowering the car down again. We went under there and I beat the starter and beat the starter. So, I mean, obviously it looks like it's been on fire. It looks like it cranked forever. I don't understand. But it was unhooked, like we said, and then we hooked it up, we had nothing. So we beat it and beat it and beat it. And then while I was sitting there hitting, I was like, the bolt's already out. Not the top bolt, because I guess he decided he couldn't get to that one or something. But the lower bolt is out. So there's only 2 bolts in that starter. So now, let's see. Nope. She's done.
John Jim.
All right, you don't have to weld with it.
Well, I figured I'd give her as much chance as I could.
I think it's done. No wonders. This thing is super smart. It's crazy that it knows the solenoid's locked up. It's drawing too much current, and it's like, never mind. So that is really cool that it knows not to keep trying to crank. It just tries and quits. Oh, you want to try to hit it while I...
Yeah, we'll give it one last shot.
Do you want the creeper?
No.
You trying to lay on the ground?
Yeah.
I'm dirty.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of dirty always.
Ready, hammer man?
Yep.
Stop.
Nothing?
Nothing. I'm tapping it.
All right, hold on. Let me tap this over here. Change positions.
You know we have a tool for... I bought one of those starter triggers. But it wouldn't go into the connector that we're inside right now.
Is there a... Let me see the flashlight real quick.
Flashlight coming up? Do you want to try any more, or are we calling it?
Let me tap it one more time.
I'm very down to call it, because that starter looks like it's...
I think it's done.
It's done.
But we'll give her... Ready?
Yep. Wire fell off.
Well, I hit it. About as hard as you want to hit them.
Yep. Maybe it really did catch on fire while he was cranking. It's possible. Well, we found the problem, and the problem may be even worse because I don't like the way the top end is sounding while we're cranking it over. It sounds weird, but also I want to hear it in rhythm with the starter cranking it so I can really tell if something's going on in the top end. And to do that, we got to get the starter swapped out. That's also bad from whoever was working on it before, or maybe it just died. Maybe it just died, but how weird. And why does it look like it was on fire? So a lot of weird things going on in this car. We're gonna get a starter, put that in. That's our next step towards bringing this thing back to life. And if this engine is trash, which we're hoping it's not, these engines are $4,000. We'd love to not take an old engine and do all the work to swap it in here. Even though we know the other one's fine, it sure would be cool to just put a starter on this and have a running Mini. Be pretty crazy. So that's tomorrow's problem because it's a little late tonight. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time.
Freaking Mini problems.
I know, man. We've always got Mini problems, that's for sure. We're getting there.
So much Mini.
At least over here today, everybody's been asking if this car has been welded to the lift, so we decided it was time. So all that's left over here now are the brake calipers, steering wheel controls, upper center console. We basically went ahead and had Ben kill this while we were working on the other car. So for the most part, we're at the very, very end of this. Maybe another 1 hour of work, we'll have the top out and we can throw this on the trailer and go have it crushed. And then the JCW can go over here and we'll get this fixed too. So Eric and I can truly recreate the Italian job. And then we'll go get one more Mini, or two more Minis. Who knows?